Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday to everyone. So we've got a couple of things on our plate today. I had an idea actually for a Springs comic, so we're going to roll out a quick Springs comic. I think that'll be great. And we're also going to work on some other little things here and there. If I can get Donald on board, I'm going to talk to him a little bit about my org chart I've got going over here for Bellatrix Rising, because we're still working on that. But first, our show today is brought to you by Dario Fo, who says, "While drawing, I discover what I really want to say. While drawing, I discover what I really want to say." I think that's a great quote, because I really feel like that not only does that kind of encompass what a lot of us are doing over here as far as like storytelling artists and things like that, but I think it also sort of encompasses just artists in general, people who are trying to paint or trying to, you really want to say something, but you can't say it in words, so you have to put it out in pictures. So, okay, I'm going to head on over to the desk, and we're going to, not there. Why did you do that? That seems very strange. Like, you're not showing the desk camera. Is the desk camera disconnected? Did it get disconnected somehow? Did I lose my desk camera? It's got to be something this morning. Let's see what we got. We're connected there. We're connected back here. I did plug in something else over here. So, I'm going to see whether I accidentally discoed my camera or not. So it's tech support morning. May have accidentally disconnected my camera. I hear it. I hear it. I heard it go beep-a-loop. I heard it go beep-a-loop. Maybe I need to disconnect and add it again. That would be very strange. So we will bring this up. We'll go like this. Alright, I'm not seeing that. So just before the show today, OBS, there we go. It just needed a moment to kind of think itself out, that's all. It got itself under control. All right. Let's head on over to the desk, shall we? All right. Okay. It does look like the lamp got borked somewhere along the line. I think I may be breaking stuff here. Watch me break stuff. Tech support day. Tech support day involves breaking stuff. Let's hope the camera doesn't fall on me. Okay. Again, I'm just taking a normal... I personally like 0.9 millimeter lead. Kind of hard to see, but personally like going with 0.9 because it's a good lead weight. I'm going to take this guy here. We're going to just plop him down right there. Let's do the long ones first this time. Let's see if the weekend has softened my skills any. Might have. It is interesting. Had a slight disaster with George over the weekend. I was working on trying to make a cell, And it actually was turning out pretty well. I was pretty pleased with it. But then, George got up here and he stepped right on the cell and then slipped and fell because it's a cell. And when he did, he ripped the cell out from underneath its tape and slid it underneath the mail line here. And so that was the end of that cell. And was kind of the first time that I had to actually work really hard to figure out how to clean this mail line. Never tried that before. But those things will happen. Those things happen all the time. Especially with a kitten. Kittens are kittens. They are who they are, Alright. Again, I'm using a 0.4 fine liner. Highly recommend you use a fine liner and not a ballpoint pen. It gives you a different feel and it draws a different line. So they're not that expensive. You can pick them up at the local store. If you have to, you can do this with ballpoint, but rather you didn't. Keep your elbow off the table. Let's keep we're drawing with our shoulder. And we're going to line in. I am having a hard time concentrating this morning a little bit because we've had fires and the weather has changed, which means I have a sinus headache going for me again. I suffer from those every season when we come in and out of summer, but it is making my eyes crossy a little. Alrighty. We're getting better. Go as fast or as slow as you need to. There. I didn't draw the 2 points. There we go. Then we're at the 19th. Put that over there. Alright, we've warmed up. It's a good warm up, I think. Let's go ahead and swing this on back over here. Let's return to our spot. So today we're going to be working a little bit more on, we're going to work on good old bad old springs. And this one's number 237, which I'll fix down here at some point, but not right now. So I had an idea this morning for springs, which I thought was pretty funny, so I'm going to go on ahead and do this. We're going to go on ahead and go into my pencils. I'm going to do a real pencil here. And part of this is we're going to just sketch in its AR. And he's happy, which doesn't happen very often. But he is sitting, which does happen a lot. that. Oh, you know what we need to do though? We need to clean our monitor. It's been a weekend, and naturally, I have to clean up our monitor. Our monitor has gotten dirty. It's picked up dust from the weekend. Right? Okay. Alright, we're going to have there we go. There we go. So he's listening to radio, which, you know, listening to some futuristic boombox. There we go. So what we're doing here is just drawing in the blue line of this because I kind of have an idea of what I want to do with this already, so we're not going to really worry about that. I'm going to go back to the same shot here because this is the punchline. Right. Okay. There we go. Music going on here. All right. I draw on the panels direct. So we'll pull panel 4 out and take these guys and delete them. Right. Now up here I have examples of other art like Sparky Schultz and Bill Watterson, and all I'm really doing here is just ensuring that I have the right pen, right? Because that's too wide. Right? That's about right. Maybe a little bit light. So we'll go up to 9. Alright. 9 looks about right. Okay. There we go. I'll put in the text bubbles first. And I'm noticing, by the way, that TB's text bubble overlaps. So we're going to make sure that that gets done second. Like this. And we've got already an error in there, which is alright. I'll come back and get it in a sec. Alright, moving along. The secret to comics, especially strips, is making them short enough to be not boring, but also long enough that you get the point across. Right? There. Now I'm going to test this in here by putting in a text box. Usually I don't put in text in this because they're actually really, it handles text badly, sadly. This particular program does. Right? Okay. Alright. That's the other thing, of course, and then it resets everything back to where it was. You have to go back. I was going to say, I could tell right away this was going to be a problem child. we go. All the way back up to my normal one. And this is why I like to, before I draw anything else in, because now I'm already seeing that some of these it'd probably be better to go with what? There we go. There's that one. It's my new favorite group. Obsidian Rose. I am not making a Blackpink reference. Why would you say that? There. There we go. We'll put that down there. Let's rewrite this. The world would you listen to the group if you don't understand the lyrics? Listen to music, not lyrics. This is the beginning part of the AR denial. He's in denial. He's actually not in denial, but part of the AR denial. 4 panels. Okay, let's go back in here, and now let's fix some of these things, like this guy doesn't need this big. Oh, gotta remember that I do this on the same layer for a reason, so that when we fill it with color, it colors quick, but it also means that Alright, so we'll go back down to 4 panels here. Now, it's funny, because this joke is true, but all the K-pop people are finally getting all the flack that all of us J-pop people got for 20 years while we were listening to Japanese pop music and had no idea what they were singing. And so, this is really from one fan base to another. Because all of us who listen to J-pop and now listen to K-pop went through this already once. Now I've put this particular box, or this particular bubble, is outside to indicate that he's coming in on this frame, so to speak. Okay. So we're going to go in here. Now we're going to ink in TV, who, strangely enough, isn't as unexpressive as one would think. Right? And we'll put in the radio. There's a certain amount of backwards technology that exists on Spring's World so that we can make like shorthand, right? There we go. There. Right, and we'll implying sort of their album cover here. Right? And they get action lines because this thing is apparently hopping. Hopping. It's hopping. put in this. There we go. And this is kind of intense work doing this because I'm just doing it. It's weird because you think that comic strips would be easier. They're not. I'm just more of a seasoned vet at drawing these guys. He says as he promptly draws on the wrong side of the paper. I'm a seasoned vet. That's what you get for opening your big trap there. Mistakes happen all the time. Some of them are funny. Some of them are a cat. And you're just like, well, you're a cat. Truth is, sadly, even though that cell was killed this last weekend, it's not the first time that one of my beloved cats has destroyed my artwork. I seriously doubt it will be the last. We are who we are, and if you want to live with animals, you have to be prepared for the eventual disaster which will occur. There we go. And then we'll put in the music notes. And then we will use, naturally, we will use Tamarbeshi for all the Zapquin. Because that's the generic foreign language, I guess. Because it doesn't matter, in this instance, it really doesn't matter whether this is a representation of K-pop or a representation of J-pop or people who listen to Arabic music, even though they don't speak that language. I think music's somewhat universal and doesn't necessarily need to be in the language you speak, and I think that's kind of the point we're trying to kind of get here, is that it doesn't have to be your language. Alright? And as is typical, kind of using TB as my foil. TB has always been sort of me when I have my ignorant phases and I'm like, oh yeah, that probably should not have happened. Right? Because we all have those moments where you say something completely insensitive. Not everybody was raised in the same way, and so we all have to have our moment of, ooh, yeah, that's not what I meant to say. And so I channel those funny moments through TB, because I've had those moments. I think we all have, certainly. And so it's kind of an interesting thing what each of these characters sort of represents, you know? In the instance of AR, he represents my side that gets frustrated or aggravated or whatever, sometimes just needs to listen to speed metal by a bunch of Japanese girls, because I'm a baby metal fan and I like their sound. Now, in that case, I actually do speak Japanese, so also like their themes and their words. But it is still speed metal time. And listening to K-pop is also in that speed metal time for me. Not that I listen to K-pop whenever I'm angry necessarily. I mean, that's not necessarily the deal. But it is good angry music. If you are angry, it works well. It works well, I tell you. Now, what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at TB, looking at the radio. And I think he should have a more quizzical look than I'm giving him here, because I'm not giving him much of a quizzical look. Right? So he should do this. Right? Like, you don't know the lyrics. He's like, why in the world would you listen to the group if you don't understand the lyrics? You know, what are you thinking? You're kind of a weirdo, you know. And then we'll put in the girls down here. It's kind of like the Blackpink girls there. And this. There we go. It's funny that we were just talking about what you use the raise the elbow off the table part of this. Right, we'll put maybe we should say we call it music. Because I think that's funnier. We call it music, not lyrics. Right? I mean, as if it was funnier to put it in italics, because I has in italics. There we go. He's just being super grumpy at TV. And coming up here, go in here, go back down to the 4 panels. And whether you agree with AR or agree with TB, it's irrelevant. Because AR is grumpy all the time. we'll just make these. It's just kind of having fun, kind of just boopity 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 boop, like that, right? There we go. There we go. There we go. E. There we go. Ease. Boy, I'm having issues all of a sudden over here. My blue line underneath this is not guiding me as well as it should, which is all right. You can still make up for that. But you're kind of taking a risk here, you know. Get under there. He is not impressed. This entire time, I'm hearing Blackpink in my head. Make sure everything's sealed. Right? We'll go through here. Maybe it's because it's called. Because it's called music, not lyrics. There we go. I feel like this is pretty cool. Going along here just fine. Everything seems to be pretty decent. Let's go ahead and do some filling. Okay, get all the white boxes in. Let's get AR. Alright, his little feet. There we go. He's got this secondary gray. It's maybe one I'm going to have to get in tighter for. We'll have to see. Right? And this stripe back here is gray as well. Alright. I'm going to do a couple of things. We're going to get in close right here to get these. Because even at close range here, we're having a problem getting in here. This little section right here needs to be turned gray, but not fully do that because it won't work otherwise. It'll just fill that whole bottom area. Okay, so TB is yellow naturally. And the radio, I actually kind of want to make it Martha's orange. Now, I picked a palette for this a long time ago. And the palette's very specific. And so, I'm going to put this as this black to get on top of everything here. We're going to do that just to give us some shadow and shading. And I'm not worrying too much about getting inside or outside. I'm worried more about the curvatures. And the reason is because I'm going to go back over this with an eraser at some point. I want to make sure, though, what's more important is that we have right, so we're going to do that. There we go. We're just putting in some shading here. Nothing major, we're just kind of doing that. Because then we're going to go back through and just do this, right? Except we're going to do it on the actual layer, but we're going to there are so many things that I just wish, you know. That's the wrong one. That's not Control. It's Alt. Shift and shift. I think I just totally forgot that I was supposed to have Brian on here this morning. And I just now remembered. Brian, are you out there? Did you hear? Can you hear me? Can you hear me out there? I just now suddenly realized that you were supposed to be, that we talked about you being here on today. Sorry about that, bro. I didn't write it down on my to-do list, and so I don't know where. Well, you're not saying anything, so you haven't decided to unfriend me and remove me from Facebook yet. Maybe Brian will be in tomorrow. That'd be awesome. select. I'm going to add a new layer underneath here. And we're going to put in the white underneath the eyes and stuff like that. Like that. That's not underneath. Undo. It's going to be here. And this screen, right? And this is just so that whenever I go back through, we're about to go to break here in just a second. We're going to stand up and walk around, do all of our mid-show break stuff. But if I'm good about this, I can go on ahead and kind of start my work on this here, right? I'm going to do it like that, right? This works just fine. I'm going to pick some different colors though. So let's do that one. And this one should be white. And we'll do this and see what happens. That looks much better. But maybe blue. Right, that's what these color palettes up here are for. Alright. And in this instance, I'm just going to go back in here. And every one of these, I'm going to try to do a different color gradient. There we go. Okay, it's time to take a quick break. We're going to go back to the ring camera. So, okay guys, everybody stand up and stretch. Let's stand up and stretch. Oh my goodness. Let's stretch. Man, things are popping. Things that are popping, all the things. We'll walk around the office for a second. Go over to the old window. Oh yeah, look outside. It's such a pretty, lovely day. We're in the middle of fall, and there's all these beautiful, beautiful colors on the trees. And I love the colors on the trees. That's great. So, I mean, I've always loved fall. It's a great time of year. At some point, I'm just going to get a microphone and walk around with it. Probably would be better for just me to mic myself and put myself on the transmission sort of thing going on here. Okay, let's get back to work. You know, it'd be funnier if I did black and pink, right? So let's, since that is obviously what we're after here, and maybe even do this, right? Just enough that you kind of catch what I'm doing here, right? You're up to what I'm doing here. You get it. It's black to pink, right? Or pink to black. Whichever way you want to look at it. I think that's funnier. Okay. We may have to do an adjustment on that in a bit. But for right now, it's funny and I'm okay with that. And maybe we'll continue the pink thread with this. Like, if you don't understand the lyrics, why in the world are you doing this? You know, sort of thing. And then right over here, this guy's going to be dark because he's grumpy. Right, so let's pick one of my darkers. Maybe like purple. There we go. So, it's looking pretty good. I'm going to have to go back through on the white and undo some of the, clean up some of the white you can see right around here. there's this white layer that I put in, which just needs to be trimmed, and that's all. Always remember to deselect. That won't ever go wrong. And we got some of it right here on the side of the radio. I mean, really, honestly, this is back to the let other people enjoy things argument that one of my favorite comic artists did. And it's Adam. I'll think of it, because names are never my strong suit, as we've so often said on this show. Okay, this 233, the problem with good old bad old 237 is the number on this one. And the problem, of course, we have with this is that it doesn't read. Now, the numbers that are on here are absolutes. So they don't, I mean, these are listed since comic strip number 1 of Springs, which was done 20 years ago. I really haven't done a lot of these guys. But I do need to go in here and sign it. Now, I have signed all of the other ones in my old signature, so I'll just keep going with that. That seems like a thing. Right, we'll go ahead and bring that brush size down to 9. That's one layer. There we go. Then we save. And we start killing off all the underwork. This here needs to be going away. Right, so we're going to turn the blue line off. And the panel background works here very well, but it wants me to trim it to the panels, so I'm going to trim it to the panels. Right. That way the gradient stands out behind it. That's all. And we will find a different color for the overlay. Works. Okay, the only other thing we need to do is adjust and trim that top piece off, this assistance up on the top, because that's the support right here is nothing more than just an assistance to get me to, or just to get me coordinated to all the steps that need to be done here, right? The final comic size needs to be 1280 by 628. Or yeah, 1200 by 628, right? That's the correct size to fit perfectly in Facebook. It does not fit so perfectly into Instagram, but that's kind of neither here nor there. So what I'll do is I'll save it, then I'll go and save as. Once I find my mouse, there's my mouse. Right. think first things first, though, we can change the canvas size and do the width at 1200. But that's not what we want. We want image size, right? Change. Right. And it should be right about 25%. There we go. And then this is the crop right here. So we'll take, we'll hit shift. Nope, Z. That's not the crop. Cancel. We need crop. That's scale rotate. This always gets me because it's something. It's always a different tool on all of these. It's almost enough to make me just go over to Photoshop and make it easier. But if I don't do it here, I won't learn. And I really want to learn. So let's look here and see what we've got. We've got rotate and zoom. The pins, the brushes, the funny things. Still not sure what those are for. Making frames, very useful. So there's a lot of tools over here, but none of them look like they're crop. So let's see if there's a crop tool over here. And I'm not seeing that either. I mean, there has to be, right? Yeah, here's crop. It's right here. But it's grayed out. I don't know what that means. Maybe I need to just flatten the thing out. Who knows? And then will that allow me to crop? No. Maybe it is exactly straight up easy and it's just select the heck out of it and then say, yeah, there you go. Check it. Right? Now we'll save as. Say JPEG. There's already a number of these guys in. So we'll just save him in there. And he's done. He's done, right? That's not that hard. Now what we'll do is we'll bring up Facebook. And I'll go ahead and cross-post this. Now, since I am going to use Instagram, I have a set of, wow, we're running really slow. I think we're doing a lot of asking. Right? Now on here, I've got the ability to go to my business page. And the business page is this new thing that I'm really enjoying quite a bit of. Here, let's switch to the ring camera. It's kind of hard to see what's going on over here, which is all right because there's like stuff going on that maybe we don't want to broadcast to the whole universe. So there's that. I'm just going to go to this page though, and we're going to pull up. I have this Instagram area. Instagram uploads. These are my hashtags. And I keep them. This is amazing, by the way, that Facebook has allowed business people to do the business stuff like this, because this is just the best. I have tags for everything copied. So here are my tags, and I can just click on Instagram feed and then put all my tags in. Right? And poof, they're all in there. Isn't that nice? Now I add a photo. We were in a different folder at this point, but we can just switch over to Springs 2020. and we pull up the newest one, right? And we say AR is getting into Z-pop. Zipquan, right? Zapquan pop music. Okay, and this then allows me to publish it out, and then I can go on ahead and put it out on my Facebook page, my normal page, right? So this is, it just went out to both my Instagram and my Facebook feed. So what I'm going to do is head back to here and just re-pop it, Mary Poppins pop it, and then I will share this. Anybody remember how to, oh, I have to share as me. There we go, that's what it is. Share to my news feed. I'm just saying. Don't make fun of my K-pop listening habits. Anyway, okay. Now I've done all of that. I've put it out onto the web. It's all rolling. I have a zillion comments. So, there we go. We have my phone's storage space is yet again running out. I have deleted everything. It is literally down to nothing. There's nothing on it anymore. And now its storage space is running out. Something is leaking. And I don't know what it is. We'll figure it out at some point. Okay, guys. So we're going to do this as a little bit of a short show today, just simply because I've done good. I did one thing. It was fun. And I'm not seeing any activity on the feeds, so there's nobody, I don't think, I think there's just one of you guys out there watching me right now, although I never know, because I'll see a 1 right here, and then there'll be 4 of you guys in the group chatting with me, and so, I'm like, I can't tell whether there's 0 people watching or not. So, I'm going to go ahead and contact Brian, and see if he remembered that we were supposed to get together today. He probably didn't, because I didn't. And then we'll see if we can get Brian on the show tomorrow to do watercolors together. That'd be kind of fun, I think. So, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and break early. Go ahead and break for lunch early, too. Go to lunch and have a good time, hang out with your family, do things. It's not the end of the world, as we know it. So, anyway, I will chat with you guys all later. Keep your eyes on the stars, and I'll see you tomorrow.